Welcome to Astronomy Daily. I'm your host, Anna, and we have a great lineup of space news and astronomical wonders to share with you today. We'll explore the next decade of spectacular solar eclipses, bid farewell to a groundbreaking star mapping mission, and discover why our sun is about to flip its magnetic field. Plus, we'll tell you about an exciting celestial gathering featuring both a comet and multiple planets, get updates on 2 private moon missions, and learn about a special challenge celebrating the Hubble Space Telescope's 35th anniversary. Stay with us for all these fascinating stories and more. Eclipse chasers, get ready to mark your calendars and make those bookings, because the next decade promises some truly spectacular solar shows. Let's explore 7 major solar eclipses that will grace our skies between 2026 and 2034. The first total solar eclipse will arrive on August 12, 2026, treating viewers in Russia, Greenland, Iceland, and Spain to up to 2 minutes and 18 seconds of totality. For the best view, you might want to book a cruise near Reykjavik, Iceland, though northern Spain offers better chances of clear skies. 2027 brings us what might be the most impressive eclipse of the decade. On August 2nd, the Egyptian city of Luxor will experience an incredible 6 minutes and 23 seconds of totality. Imagine witnessing this celestial spectacle from the Valley of the Kings or the Temple of Karnak. This eclipse will be visible to an astounding 89 million people across southern Spain, North Africa, and the Middle East. Australia gets its turn in 2028, with Sydney and the Blue Mountains enjoying nearly 4 minutes of totality. The show continues into New Zealand's South Island, where places like Queenstown will witness a dramatic sunset eclipse. 2030 takes us to Africa, where the moon's shadow will trace a path from Namibia's Skeleton Coast across Botswana to South Africa's Durban before crossing the Indian Ocean to reach parts of Australia. This could be your perfect excuse for that African safari you've been dreaming about. The following year, 2031, offers something special, a hybrid eclipse. These rare events combine both total and annular eclipses, though you'll need to be on a cruise ship in the North Pacific to catch this one. North America gets its next total solar eclipse in 2033, with Alaska taking center stage. The timing couldn't be better, as it coincides with peak Northern Lights season. Imagine witnessing an eclipse with the possibility of aurora displays in the same trip. Finally, 2034's eclipse will cross through Egypt, Iran, and India, offering opportunities to view totality from fascinating locations like the ancient ruins of Persepolis or the Indian Himalayas. Each of these eclipses offers its own unique viewing experience, whether you're watching from ancient temples, remote deserts, or modern cities. Remember that proper planning is essential, not just for travel arrangements, but also for safe viewing with certified eclipse glasses or filters. Next up in today's space news, the European Space Agency's star-mapping spacecraft Gaia has finally closed its eyes to the cosmos after an incredible 12-year mission. On January 15th, the spacecraft that has been meticulously cataloging our Milky Way concluded its data-collecting operations, but this is far from the end of its scientific legacy. Throughout its operational lifetime, Gaia has studied nearly 2 billion stars and other celestial objects, creating the most detailed and precise 3D map of our local universe ever attempted. The mission's conclusion was inevitable, as the spacecraft began running low on the cold gas propellant it needs to maintain its precise spinning motion, using about 12 grams daily since its launch in December 2013. While Gaia may have stopped collecting new data, astronomers are excited about what's still to come. Less than 1/3 of all the spacecraft's data has been published so far, with 2 major data releases still on the horizon. The next release, known as GR4, is expected before mid-2026 and will showcase 5.5 years of observations. This won't just be more of the same. It's expected to surpass previous releases in both volume and quality. Even more exciting is GR5, the final data release, which will contain stellar observations collected over an astounding 10.5 years. We'll need to be patient, though, as this massive data dump isn't expected until the end of this decade, with scientists continuing to make discoveries from Gaia's observations well into the 2030s. Before its final retirement, Gaia will serve one last purpose as a test subject for scientists working to improve spacecraft and instrument control in space. These tests will be conducted while the spacecraft remains at its observation point between Earth and the Sun. Afterward, it will be moved to a final orbit away from Earth's sphere of influence, ensuring it won't interfere with other spacecraft. This remarkable mission has revolutionized our understanding of the Milky Way, and its impact on astronomy will continue to unfold for years to come. While we say goodbye to Gaia's active mission, its greatest scientific discoveries might still lie ahead in the vast amount of data yet to be analyzed. Our sun is preparing for a remarkable event, a complete reversal of its magnetic field. This cosmic flip, occurring roughly every 11 years, marks a crucial milestone in the solar cycle and signals that we're halfway through the current solar maximum, the peak of our star's activity. The process isn't like flipping a switch. It's a gradual transition that typically takes a year or two to complete. During this time, the sun's magnetic field transforms from a simple north-south arrangement into something far more complex before settling into its reversed configuration. When complete, the northern magnetic field will point south, and the southern field will point north, actually aligning more closely with Earth's own magnetic field. What drives this magnetic dance? The answer lies in sunspots, those dark regions of intense magnetic activity on the sun's surface. As new sunspots form near the sun's equator, they maintain the old magnetic orientation, while spots emerging closer to the poles align with the incoming magnetic direction. This complex interaction gradually pushes the magnetic fields toward the poles, ultimately triggering the reversal. While this might sound dramatic, there's no need for concern here on Earth. The flip isn't a sign of impending doom. Rather, it's a natural part of our sun's cycle. In fact, it might even provide some benefits, helping to shield our planet from harmful galactic cosmic rays by creating a more effective barrier in the solar system. We are seeing increased solar activity lately, with powerful solar flares and coronal mass ejections triggering spectacular auroral displays. However, these aren't directly caused by the magnetic flip. They're simply occurring together because we're at solar maximum. Scientists expect this period of peak activity to continue through late 2024 into early 2026. The timing and strength of this magnetic reversal could give us valuable clues about future solar activity. If the sun's magnetic field quickly reorganizes itself after the flip, we might be in for an active next solar cycle. But if the process is slow, we could be looking at a relatively quiet period ahead. Either way, this celestial transformation provides a fascinating window into the complex dynamics of our star. Stargazers in the southern hemisphere are in for a double treat this week as we head into an exciting period of celestial observation. Comet C2024 G3, also known as Atlas, is currently putting on a show in our skies following its recent close encounter with the sun. The comet is now visible during sunset, though catching a glimpse requires some careful timing and positioning. For those hoping to spot this cosmic visitor, you'll want to look toward the western or southwestern horizon just after sunset. The comet is grazing the horizon almost directly below Venus, making our bright neighboring planet a helpful reference point for locating this more elusive object. While the comet's proximity to the sun makes it challenging to spot with the naked eye, its solar-heated ice is creating a bright tail that adds to the spectacle. Adding to this astronomical display, we're witnessing a rare gathering of planets in our night sky. All the planets except Mercury will be visible simultaneously over the next week, creating a remarkable planetary parade. Venus and Saturn are positioned close to each other near the horizon, while the other planets are scattered across the evening sky. While you'll need a telescope to catch glimpses of Uranus and Neptune, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn are all visible to the naked eye. The best viewing conditions are expected as the moon wanes, with this planetary gathering continuing to be visible for several hours after sunset through mid-February. And for those patient observers, Mercury will join this celestial reunion by late February, completing the family portrait of our solar system's major planets. For anyone interested in viewing these celestial events, astronomy apps like Skyview or Starwalk can be invaluable tools for identifying and locating these objects in the night sky. Just remember to find a viewing spot with minimal light pollution and clear horizons for the best possible experience. 2 private lunar landers are embarking on ambitious journeys to the moon, following their successful launch aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket yesterday. The Blue Ghost lander, built by Firefly Aerospace, and the Resilience lander from Japanese company iSpace are taking different approaches to reach their lunar destinations. Blue Ghost will spend its first 25 days in Earth orbit, conducting systems checks and collecting data with its suite of 10 NASA science instruments. After this initial phase, it will fire its engines to begin its journey to the Moon, reaching lunar orbit just 4 days later. The lander will then prepare for its touchdown in the Mare Crisium, or Sea of Crises, where it aims to operate for 1 lunar day, approximately 2 Earth weeks. During its surface mission, Blue Ghost will carry out various scientific investigations before capturing dramatic imagery of the lunar sunset. The mission will continue briefly into the lunar night, gathering crucial data about how moon dust responds to changing solar conditions. From launch to final shutdown, the entire mission is expected to span about 60 Earth days. Taking a more leisurely path to our celestial neighbor is the Resilience lander, which is following an energy-efficient trajectory that will take 4 months to reach lunar orbit. Before its main arrival, Resilience will perform a lunar flyby in about a month's time. After reaching orbit, the team will spend 2 weeks preparing for landing in the northern Mare Frigoris region. Resilience carries 5 payloads, including a small rover called Tenacious. This 11-pound explorer will venture onto the lunar surface to collect moon dust samples. The mission also includes a cultural touch, a small red and white model house called Moon House, created by a Swedish artist. You can get more details in yesterday's episode of Astronomy Daily if you'd like to find out more about this novel payload. This marks iSpace's second attempt at a lunar landing, following their first try last year, which ended in a crash. If successful, these missions will join the ranks of Odysseus, which recently became the first private spacecraft to achieve a soft landing on the moon. If you're an avid skywatcher, here's a fun activity you may want to sign up for. In celebration of the Hubble Space Telescope's remarkable 35-year legacy, NASA has partnered with the Astronomical League to launch an exciting new observing challenge for 2025. The challenge invites amateur astronomers to explore the cosmos through their own telescopes, focusing on objects that Hubble has studied throughout its mission. Anyone with a 6-inch telescope and access to dark skies can participate in this year-long adventure. Each month, Hubble will release a new list of observable targets, with separate collections tailored for both northern and southern hemisphere observers. The first set of targets is already available, giving stargazers a chance to start planning their observations. This isn't just about personal achievement. There's also a strong community aspect to the challenge. Participants are encouraged to share their passion for astronomy through public outreach, making it perfect for star parties and educational events. Those who successfully spot at least one object per month and conduct one outreach activity will earn a silver certificate, while more dedicated observers can aim for gold certification by observing 4 objects monthly and completing 4 outreach activities throughout the year. The challenge beautifully bridges the gap between professional and amateur astronomy, allowing backyard astronomers to follow in Hubble's footsteps and experience firsthand some of the incredible celestial objects this legendary telescope has studied over its 3.5 decades in space. If you'd like to find out more about the challenge and how you can join in, I'll drop a link into the show notes for you. And that wraps up another fascinating episode of Astronomy Daily. I'm Anna, and I want to thank you for joining me on this journey through the latest developments in space and astronomy. From upcoming solar eclipses to groundbreaking lunar missions, there's never been a more exciting time to keep our eyes on the stars. Stay up to date with all the latest space and astronomy news by visiting our website at astronomydaily.io. There you'll find our constantly updating newsfeed and can catch up on all our previous episodes. Don't forget to follow us on social media. You can find us as Astro Daily Pod on Facebook, X, YouTube, YouTube Music, and TikTok. Until next time, keep looking up and wondering about the mysteries of our universe. This has been Anna with Astronomy Daily.